I, 39 female, have been estranged from my father for more than 20 years now. He disliked my indifference to his wife and younger children. That's how I felt from the very first time he remarried. It didn't make me happy that he was remarrying, but I also told him I wouldn't stop him, but he shouldn't expect me to be glad either. I was 9 at the time. By the time I finished high school and had moved, he told me I could not continue to be indifferent. It upset his wife and children, and I needed to try and find love for them. I told him I didn't want to. I told him he didn't need to worry because I wouldn't be around much. He said I shouldn't be around at all if I couldn't put forth the effort to try. I didn't, and we went our separate ways. I did not have therapy as a child, but did go as an adult. It didn't change my lack of interest in building a relationship with my father's second family. A few weeks ago, I was contacted by a half-sibling who said that they had all wondered about me and wanted to meet me. I declined, saying that I wasn't interested. The half-sibling who contacted me asked for one chance to talk where they could see my face, so we arranged a Zoom call where they had questions for me. The biggest question was whether I regretted not trying and becoming so estranged from them. I was there, honestly, so I told them I didn't regret it, and I still stood by it being the best decision I could have made. Even if going entirely estranged was my father's decision, I still think it was the best one in the long run. They didn't like my honesty, and they said I could have been kinder about it. I replied they're all adults and shouldn't ask questions and expect lies in return. They said sugarcoating it at least. I asked what that would have looked like, saying I always wondered what, if, when, even if I didn't, actually saying I would always be fond of them. They called me cruel and heartless. They said seeing my Facebook profile, where I clearly have very close relationships and have children of my own, and not having that spark of desire to have my flesh and blood in my life, was a cruel slap in the face for them. They insisted I shouldn't have been so blunt and honest. I told them it was best to end this, and I left the call. I also blocked the half-sibling who reached out to me, but they did find a way around that with another profile or two, and DM'd me with a message that I'm an idiot, and how dare I. I did make my account entirely private after that, but it does make me feel like I should ask, am I the idiot for not lying or sugarcoating when I spoke to them? Edit. My stepmom died recently. She was nice. She was a little too nice in some ways. She was eager to fill the role my mom left behind and came on very strong. That was until she had a child of her own and realized that their having a baby together did not make me jealous of her attention going somewhere else, and she left it alone after that. His response was along the thinking of, why wouldn't you be happy about a new mom when most kids your age would love the chance to get another? He would also ask me why it didn't make me jealous that she was pouring her attention onto their first child. Oh wow, your dad didn't have feelings for your feelings? Your father's wife seems like she wanted almost to replace your mom until she had kids that were hers. Seems to me as if you were a 9-year-old kid left to feel really lousy and adults weren't paying attention to how you felt at all. I'm glad you have a family that is yours now. You don't owe sugarcoating to anyone. Not the idiot. I believe in not asking questions you don't want the answer to. Let me ask you a question and be honest in your reply. Gives honest answer. Not that honest. And it seems like they reached out to OP just to vent their frustration on them, possibly directed by Dad? You are the idiot. You lost your mom when you were young, and that is a difficult tragedy. There's no abuse or neglect here, just a stepmom that you didn't need or want. I'm not sure why you lack basic empathy for your siblings. They're human beings reaching out, trying to connect with your family. Is it jealousy that they were the center of a new family? Or that your dad found happiness again? While you're not a large idiot, there was room for manners, courtesy, and empathy. She owes them none of these things. Sugarcoating or lying would just get them to keep reaching out to OP, which she clearly doesn't want. While she was blunt with them, nothing seemed aggressively mean. She even declined straight away when asked to meet, but she only agreed after they wouldn't let it go. She handled it well. My boyfriend, 25, an I-25 female, have known each other since primary school and have always been in the same friend group. Fast forward to after college and our paths cross again. We've been dating for 2 years with constant issues caused by his mom. His dad was the nicest person, but sadly passed away years before we started dating. I know every story has two sides, but my boyfriend and his sisters, all four, know his mom is in the wrong. They've all had problems and fights in their marriages because of her constantly interfering and making nasty comments. I've been dealing with this for 2 years, and very recently, it reached its peak when she sent nasty messages to me. I responded respectfully as always, and she went as far as to send nasty messages to my boyfriend about me. She's never met my mother in person and even insulted my mother, religion, etc. She even claimed I was using her son, giving him an ultimatum of choosing me or her. P.S. I pay most of the financial expenses in our relationship, so I'm not sure what I could be using him for. After she sent these nasty texts, I remained respectful but decided not to talk to her until she apologized. My boyfriend's trying to avoid the drama by acting as if it doesn't exist. Still, it's making everything uncomfortable to the point where his sisters have decided that he needs to meet them for coffee alone because of the uncomfortable vibe, stating that I'm not allowed to go with him when his mom is there. I think that it's quite obvious that this will be an ongoing thing for all events, such as holidays, birthdays, etc. But why do we need to be separated because of his mom? I didn't say or do anything offensive towards her. She never apologizes for anything. Her own kids banned her from Christmas last year because of her behavior towards them. She's still not apologized. She just goes on and blames everyone else, so they've given up on waiting for any apologies. The least she can do is apologize to me, and I don't need to let it slide. It's also important to note that my boyfriend experienced the same issues with his mom in his previous relationship, also leading to a breakup. My boyfriend's mom doesn't like anyone in her children's lives besides her. We got along very well until he notified her we were together. After that, she started calling me his ex's name on purpose, gossiping about me, saying nasty things whenever she got the chance, etc. She's emotionally manipulative with her kids, and they admit it too. She wants to be the main character, and when she needs to take accountability for anything, she blames everyone else and starts to cry. Am I the idiot for telling my boyfriend that if he isn't going to deal with his mom and put some boundaries in place, I'm leaving? Not the idiot, but your issue isn't with the mother, but your boyfriend. He's prioritizing the feelings of a disordered narcissist over you, his partner. This speaks volumes about his character and integrity. He will not put you first. Take this information for the gift it is and break up with him now. If you don't, you can expect this BS to go on forever. The ultimatum you gave him is useless. Why? Because if it takes the threat of you leaving for him to do the right thing, then his motivations are crap. You want to be with someone who willingly and voluntarily defends you against bullies, even if they are his own family. You also have to ask yourself, if he didn't set her straight for calling you his ex's name, and he didn't set her straight for sending rude texts to you, and he's trying to act like nothing happened, what do you think the future's going to be like with him? I hate to say it, but I'd get out while you still can. It's been 2 years, and clearly getting worse with no end in sight. Boyfriend will always be mommy's little man, and you should be the priority, but I don't see it happening. I'm 34 female, a retired trapeze artist, and my daughter, young grammar school, is enrolled in circus school. She loves it so much that she asked to see a Cirque du Soleil show as a birthday present. My husband, 37, and I managed to get some discount tickets to take her and 3 of her friends from circus school on a 2-hour drive to catch the nearest show. When I got there, I checked the company credits and noticed a friend, an acrobat from Belgium, was one of the performers. I hadn't seen him in years and sent him a message on Instagram to say that I was in the audience with my daughter and excited to see him. He replied almost immediately and told me to look for a stage manager after the show so we could say hi and I could take my daughter backstage. And so I did. Since he only invited my daughter and I didn't mention in my short message that there were 3 other girls, plus my husband, and I couldn't impose taking a small party backstage. My husband waited with the girls for about 20 minutes after the show was over while we toured backstage. My daughter was so happy, yet she kept talking about it on the way home, and that's when I realized the other girls could be feeling left out. What do you know? The same night, one of the girls' mothers called me to say her daughter came home crying because she didn't get to go backstage, and that it was very poor form on my part to invite them to a party and exclude them from one of the experiences. I tried to explain how things played out, but she kept being aggressive until I finally lost it and told her she had no right to call me and try to reprimand me and should instead have a talk to her daughter about how to deal with such frustrations. My husband says I should not have instigated it and that in hindsight, I shouldn't have split the party. Am I the idiot? You could have simply informed your friend that you were in the company of your daughter's friends and left it up to him to decide. You could have also told your daughter not to keep talking about that with their friends there so that they wouldn't feel left out. That's simple. If you really felt the need to only take your kid and not the others, instead you did, in fact, leave 3 other kids out, you allowed your daughter to brag about what she alone got to do, and you're surprised a bunch of 6-year-olds felt left out. You then doubled down on the one mom who wanted to defend her kid's feelings. Yes, you are the idiot. OP is not the idiot. While I agree she could have asked for more people to go backstage, we don't know how the relationship between the 2 artists' friends and OP is. I'm guessing they wouldn't have minded having a few more kids there, but I maintain that other kids are not getting what birthday kids get is the norm, not idiocy. Exactly. It was OP's daughter's birthday. OP has no obligation to make sure everyone experiences the same thing, because it's not about them. It's about her daughter's birthday. Is OP not allowed to have a special moment with their daughter on the day she was born at a party that's meant for her at an expensive circus show? Get a grip, dude. Going backstage is not the best part of seeing Cirque du Soleil. Good grief. The kids were safe and still got a free night out, paid for by OP. The other kid sounds like a spoiled brat, and her mother sounds entitled and enabling. Guaranteed the other kid wouldn't remember not going backstage, but OP's daughter will remember this special opportunity. My ex and I have a tween-year-old boy going through some things. We found a therapist, and we've been seeing her for a couple of years. It hasn't been life-changing for me in any way. In fact, it became more of a pointless chore, like making your bed or folding your underwear. I might have gotten a few things out of it, but I wouldn't do it again. A few weeks ago, I told our therapist that it's bizarre not to have to worry about money for the first time in my life. I make good money and don't have many bills. I'm saving like $1,000 a month. Last week, the therapist asked me if I could start making a copayment. I don't have a copayment because my insurance covers 100% of therapy sessions. I explained that to her. She said that was true, but maybe I could start paying like $20 cash because she's not making a lot with what my insurance pays her, like a tip. I was at a loss for words. I said, and I suppose this has no relation to my telling you that I had disposable income from a few weeks ago. She said, of course not. It was like she was asking for a raise, LOL. I said I'd think about it. I found nothing about tipping your therapist. I talked to my ex and said I was firing the therapist. She told me not to throw away 2 years of work. And I said this therapist tried taking advantage of me. She offered to pay. And I said, I'm not stopping you, but I'm not doing the sessions anymore. And neither is our son. The trust I had in our therapist is forever broken. I left a voicemail and text message explaining we didn't need services anymore. I haven't heard back. Guess what? Our lives didn't fall apart, and the therapist replied that I totally misunderstood this whole tip thing. Not the idiot. What the heck? This is wildly unethical. I absolutely would not trust her with the mental health of my child, much less myself. I'd contact your insurance company. They'll probably want to drop her entirely if they find out about this. This is a red flag. I have previously been financially exploited by a therapist, and a good provider would not do this to you. Deciding to raise their rates is one thing, but trying to trick you into a copayment you didn't owe and asking for tips is going in the wrong direction. Don't discount your feelings of broken trust. It's kind of important on a foundational level. Yes, it does suck to have to look for a new therapist, but staying with one you don't trust is worse. So, of course the therapist was unprofessional, and this sounds like something to report. However, you say we've been seeing, implying that this was your son's therapist. You make it all about you, but leave out an important part, your son. How does your son feel about this? Is he seeing another therapist? It sounds like you're probably an idiot to your son for not making reasonable arrangements to find another therapist who takes your insurance and supports him while he's, quote, going through some things. You don't sound like you even care about him. I hope your ex at least takes him to therapy if he needs it. We've been dating for about 3 months and recently started to stay at each other's places. About a week ago, when we were in the bed and about to go to sleep, she asked if she could use my phone to finish a show she was watching because her phone's battery was low and she forgot her charger. I handed her my phone, told her the code, then turned around and went to sleep. Since that night, she regularly uses my phone to watch her shows and movies because my phone is better than hers. Last night, we were out to dinner and I left my phone in my car. Since everything has been happening worldwide, I've been keeping up with the news. While waiting for a table and I didn't have my phone, I asked her if I could use hers to check on the latest news. She asked me where mine was, and I answered I left it in the car. She suggested I wait until after dinner or go and get it. Then there was nothing but silence. I was confused, and things got very awkward, to the point the other people in the waiting area noticed. The awkwardness lasted through dinner because I was still confused and she was angry. After dinner, as I was driving home, she texted to tell me that I was an idiot to put her in that position in public and that I should have accepted her hints before she had to say no. I didn't see the big deal, but she's royally angry with me and said I had a lot of making up to do. Was I wrong to ask to use her phone after she's been using mine wherever she wanted? Not the idiot. The reason she's using your phone is because she's snooping, man. She feels guilty for what she's hiding, so her mind is telling her, you're probably doing the same thing. So she's looking for evidence to ease her conscience. It's a form of projecting. Sorry, man. You sound like a nice guy. 100%. Her aggressive reaction in trying to gaslight him into feeling guilty for asking for her phone is also classic. She's probably sending whatever she needs to herself in case anything happens so she can go, see, you did this. Do people in 3-month relationships really think it's normal to share their phone codes and passwords with their romantic partners? I find it surprising, but maybe my partner and I are more private and respectful of each other's privacy than is the norm. I can't imagine giving someone free reign of my phone in that way, to begin with, but I'd gladly share my phone charger. Also, I'm never without my charger. I can imagine unlocking my phone to let a partner watch a particular video or read an article while we're together at most. OP, I think you should change your code and not give it out again, and just buy her an extra charger to have at your house if this relationship continues. Info. How did things become awkward, and how did others notice? Were you planning on letting her have this mental load of dealing with the hostess and just stick to the news? Were you standing in the waiting area, repeatedly asking her to use her phone on a date night? That's entirely different than using a phone when the other's going to bed. Will she let you use it at home? Or have you tried any other time than date night at the hostess stand? Yeah, I'm shocked by the amount of people jumping to cheating here when on a dinner date is a completely reasonable time to just not want your partner to be scrolling on their phone in general. Dude, if she doesn't want you on her phone ever when she feels welcome to yours, yeah, concerning. Not handing her phone over to you when you two are out to dinner, Sorry, not really.